Welcome to NEWS.am. Today our guest is Mr. James Warlick, former US co-chair of the Minsk Group. Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me on today.
The situation is very complicated and volatile in our region, especially around Nagorno-Karabakh. 120,000 Armenians are under full blockade by Azerbaijan, causing a humanitarian catastrophe as a consequence. Meantime, Armenia and Azerbaijan continued the negotiations towards a possible peace treaty. The last round of negotiations took place in Washington at the end of June. And as we know, the Prime Minister of Armenia has recognized Nagorno-Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan. What do you think? What could be the next step in the negotiations after this turning point?
Well, there are a lot of questions that need to be resolved, of course. I believe that Washington is putting its highest priority on communications and transportation links, but that alone is not enough. As the people of Nagorno-Karabakh fully understand, there have to be confidence building measures. There needs to be a commitment on the part of the government of Azerbaijan to protect all of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh and to allow free travel and to put an end to not just the embargo, but any problems that the community is having, and work with them to fully assure their rights within Azerbaijan.
Official Yerevan insists that agreeing to negotiate on the basis of Madrid principles in 2007, Armenia had already recognized Nagorno-Karabakh as a part of Azerbaijan, and that the people of Nagorno-Karabakh had no real chance for self-determination in the far future, gaining some kind of status out of Azerbaijan. You have been personally engaged in the negotiations for 3 years, and you are well aware of the details and the essence of the principles. So how would you comment this? Was the possible status of Nagorno-Karabakh somehow predetermined?
Well, of course, hindsight is always 2020. When I was co-chair, I believe that there was a settlement that could have been reached if the leaders of Armenia and Azerbaijan were ready to do so. They were not ready. Quite frankly, the outcome for Armenia would have been better if a settlement had been reached during the period when I was co-chair. And it shouldn't have been the result of war and conflict as it is now. That said, that's behind us. And I do believe that the issue of status remains on the table. Not independent status during the current period, but there does need to be a recognition of the rights and obligations of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh to live in peace and security within Azerbaijan. And I believe, too, that President Aliyev has a responsibility to ensure that status within Azerbaijan, and that should be an important part of the negotiations.
Mr. Ambassador, what does your personal analysis show? Did Armenia have an opportunity not to recognize the territorial integrity of Azerbaijan, including Nagorno-Karabakh, after the war of 2020 and persevere with the right of self-determination for Nagorno-Karabakh, or at least insist on postponing the issue of the possible status of Nagorno-Karabakh? What do you think?
Well, it is speculation. I think that Azerbaijan has always insisted on the principle of territorial integrity, but at the same time, Armenia insisted on self-determination and a discussion of status. And I think that that could have been packaged in a way that would be acceptable for both Armenia and Azerbaijan. But that's in the past. We are where we are today, and the government of Armenia and the people of Nagorno-Karabakh need to accept the situation and work towards the kind of solution that protects the rights of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh.
Baku declares that it's ready to negotiate with Stepanakert only around the agenda of integration within Azerbaijan. President Aliyev has decisively stressed many times that Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh wouldn't have any kind of privileges, any kind of special status or special guarantees. And the current blockade of Nagorno-Karabakh also shows that Azerbaijan, the aim of that blockade, in fact, is to induce Stepanakert to crucial concessions and adoption of Azerbaijani terms. So, what do you think? How can this position, this approach of Azerbaijan, lead to real peace or stability in the region?
Well, the devil is in the details. I do believe that it's important for the government of Azerbaijan to talk to the de facto authorities in Nagorno-Karabakh about the issues of most importance. And I think that that dialogue is critically important on the issue of status. And we're talking within the territory of Azerbaijan. I do believe that there are rights and protections that are important for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh and outside of Nagorno-Karabakh for that matter. I think that Azerbaijanis and Armenians, there will be a time again when they can live together in peace and security side by side. But there needs to be confidence building measures. The government of Azerbaijan needs to negotiate in good faith and also needs to offer some degree of magnanimity to ensure that the people of Nagorno-Karabakh feel safe and secure and can be prosperous within the territory of Azerbaijan.
Mr. Warlick, the ambassador of the United States to Armenia has recently stressed that Washington envisions the peaceful and secure life for Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh within Azerbaijan. But on the other hand, we see the uncompromising position of Baku, which shows its readiness for a new ethnic cleansing of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. So how would you comment this position of the United States, and can you say what are the main factors shaping the US approach on the Karabakh conflict and the issue of possible status of Nagorno-Karabakh?
Well, I don't know the full context of the U.S. ambassador's statements. I saw them, and I believe that her statements were premature. There need to be protections put in place for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, and certainly no talk of ethnic cleansing. This starts at the top with President Aliyev, and he needs to give assurances that there will be no ethnic cleansing, that he will respect the rights of the people of Nagorno-Karabakh, and that he is prepared to offer some sort of status within the territory of Azerbaijan for the people of Nagorno-Karabakh. And that has yet to happen. And I believe that in order for the many other things, the other elements of a settlement to flow, such as communications and transportation and other issues, those assurances need to be given, and the people of Nagorno-Karabakh need to fully accept that their rights are going to be protected in the future. Given the history of the relationship between Armenia and Azerbaijan, of course, both sides are going to be very skeptical and have reservations. But any talk of ethnic cleansing should be off the table, and there need to be assurances given that the people of Nagorno-Karabakh will be fully protected and have all of the rights of people within the territory of Azerbaijan.
Mr. Warlick, Washington and Brussels are the main platforms for the negotiations towards a possible peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan right now. Moscow stresses that the West is trying to diminish its influence in the region and push out Russia from the process of the settlement of the conflict of Nagorno-Karabakh. And we see that the United States is not intended to cooperate or coordinate its actions related to Nagorno-Karabakh and sees the European Union as a key partner in this process. But we see also that Russia has a peacekeeping mission in Nagorno-Karabakh, which makes the life of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh possible right now. So what do you think? Is it realistic to reach some kind of crucial and lasting settlement in the region related to Nagorno-Karabakh without the engagement of Russia?
Well, Russia has its hands full now, and relations with Russia, not just with the United States, but with the European Union, are at perhaps the lowest ebb in our history together. The ball is in Moscow's court. If it wants to play a productive role in full settlement in Nagorno-Karabakh, it needs to make that clear to Washington and play a productive role, not the only role, but to play a productive role. You can't neglect the fact that there are Russian peacekeepers on the ground, and that Russia was instrumental in bringing about a settlement. We can't neglect that. But Moscow needs to make clear that they are going to play a productive role in working together with Washington and the European Union to find a kind of lasting settlement that the region deserves. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that Moscow is prepared to do that, and we have to be suspicious of Moscow's intentions here. But I do believe that a lasting settlement does require discussion with Moscow, and perhaps this is one of the very, very few issues where Washington and Moscow and Brussels could actually cooperate to find a settlement that is in everyone's interest.
Mr. Warlick, and the last question, what do you think? Does the United States have vital strategic interest in the South Caucasus? Or is this region important for the United States, especially because of the presence both of Russia and Iran in this region?
No, I think the United States has always had interests in the region. Of course, what's in the news today are the energy interests with Azerbaijan, but there's much more than that. We do have a common interest in stability in the South Caucasus. We have a lot of personal and cultural ties, particularly to Armenia. As you well are aware, we have a very large Armenian American community here with strong ties to Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh. And that's important for the United States, and that is an interest. We also have common goals of fighting terrorism in the region. Also, the issue, if the Armenia-Azerbaijan relations can improve, I think we will see a new era of prosperity come to Armenia and, quite frankly, to Azerbaijan. I do believe that there will be a time when it is possible to open the border with Turkey, for example, which would be an enormous benefit to Armenia for many reasons. Now, that's not an easy issue to do, but I believe it's something that should be on the table. Restoring communication links in the region is vitally important, and that's going to be to the benefit of Armenia. It will reduce the reliance on Russia for so many things. And I do believe that this will also benefit Azerbaijan. So there's a lot at stake here. And it's important that the basis of moving forward is an equitable settlement in Nagorno-Karabakh. And I believe that that can open the doors for many other positive developments that, quite frankly, the region deserves.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you very much for this interesting conversation.
Thank you very much for having me on.